Right, welcome guys. Sweeney has come out and basically slammed Hollywood. Just said it's all entirely fake. All of the women empowering women, nah, complete fake nonsense. They're all just virtue signaling douche canoes, which we all know, obviously. But it is interesting to see someone within that industry come out and basically just slam it all. And this comes at a time where she's at, or not at the peak of her career, but she's getting there now. She's managed to make some major jumps here and there. She started her own production company as well. You know, she was a producer on Immaculate and things like this. So she's at that point now where she can come out and say these things. You know, like her stardom isn't... Hollywood could kind of try and crush it, but I don't think it would be able... They just wouldn't be able to do it. You know, they need her. There's very few leading women out there these days, and she is someone that is a draw. So... yeah, it's interesting, to be honest. And I say she is a draw. I think she is a draw, to be perfectly honest. She certainly has quite a cult following, especially of the male variety. Two big reasons for that, of course. Her charm and wit. Anyway, so we're going to take a look at this, because it is interesting. But yeah, hit subscribe if you're new here. Turn those bell notifications on. So basically, it's with this wide-ranging interview with Vanity Fair. Where they start out with this weird piece about her having an obsession with cheese, which is, I'm not lying, that is literally part of this interview. Sweeney has a cheese obsession. Sure, fine. But alright. So there was some interesting stuff here. Again, just how it opens up anyway. It says, during her Saturday Night Live monologue in the spring, she poked fun at the box office failure of her superhero movie Madame Web, the controversy surrounding her mother's supposedly MAGA-themed 60th birthday party, and even rumours that she and Anyone But You co-star Glenn Powell had an affair. Quote, hopefully people realise how silly all the headlines are, because, I mean, you know how this works. She says from her North Carolina, where she's filming a biopic about the boxer, which if you've seen anything of that, like how she transformed herself to look like this boxer is, yeah, pretty crazy, to be honest. And it says here, we're going to have a conversation. We'll talk for 30 minutes. It's condensed. Then people don't understand the context behind the conversation. And it's all clickbait. Unfortunately, I don't get to control my image. My image is in your guys' hands. And that's quite an interesting point. She basically actually kickstarts the interview with Vanity Fair, a Hollywood mainstream media outlet, by basically saying, we're the headlines are headlines. It's all clickbait. We're going to have a conversation now. And how you shape this interview is completely out of my hands. You can change the context any way you like. And I like how she started that interview off saying that, because it's almost like a pre-warning. I'm surprised they included it in there. But Vanity Fair has been very fair to Sydney in this interview, actually, which is, yeah, been interesting. So we'll just scroll through some of this, because some of it's not... it's a bit pointless, to be honest. But she does say this, or she's asked this, you know, about how being a producer. And I think this is important, because this is why she's rising to stardom and how she's able to say the things that she's saying in this interview. I love being able to have a seat at the table or have creative say over decisions that would help benefit the project, whether it be the character or budget or time frame. Anything that I can do that can help the project succeed. I love to help brainstorm and problem solve, because it's a puzzle. You're constantly trying to have all these moving pieces put together. So that's cool. It's nice. And again, she just comes across like a really likable person, someone that is quite down to earth. Talks about Anyone But You being a huge financial success, and it's all about word of mouth. And she says it was all because of the fans. I loved it. I felt like none of it was forced on the audience. They just fell in love with it themselves, and they shared that love with everybody. I love that the marketing came from them. That's great. What a lovely thing to say. Like, hey, yeah, you just made it a success, thanks. That's awesome. But anyway, the reason why you came for this particular, into this video anyway, is this. Okay, so this spring, your team fought back when a producer called your looks and talent into question. Anne Hathaway and Jennifer Lawrence have discussed the tendency to knock women performers down when they're at their professional peak. Why do you think that is? It's very disheartening to see women tear other women down, especially when women who are successful in other avenues of their industry see younger talent working really hard, hoping to achieve whatever dreams that they may have, and then trying to bash and discredit any work that they've done. This entire industry, literally the entire industry of Hollywood, This entire industry, all people say is women empowering other women. None of it's happening. All of it is fake. An affront for all the other shit that they say behind everyone's back. That's quite full on, actually. That's really full on. I mean, there's so many studies and different opinions on the reasoning behind it. I've read that our entire lives we were raised, and it's a generational problem, to believe only one woman can be at the top. There's one woman who can get the man. There's one woman who can be, I don't know, anything. So then all the others feel like they have to fight each other or take that one woman down instead of being like, let's all lift each other up. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm just trying my best over here. Why am I getting attacked? Women are just notoriously bitchy. They just are. Like, women don't tend to wear makeup to please men. They do, in part. But a lot of the full-on makeup stuff and the dresses and all this kind of stuff, a lot of it is actually to please other women. The comments that women tend to get, the hate that women get, tends to all, majority-wise, all be from other women. It's just notorious. Like, yeah, you could probably pin it down to evolutionary psychology, you know, trying to bring other people down so they can get the leg up. Who knows? But I just like how she calls Hollywood just entirely fake. All of it's fake. All of it's fake. None of it's happening. It's just complete crap. I'm getting attacked. It's complete crap. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, this is the main point of this. But then I thought I would just, you know, bring this into question a little bit as well, because I thought I liked this. You hosted SNL this year, and in your monologue, you focused on some of the headlines about you. What was it like to address everything and reclaim it in a comedic way? She also really, really pushed for jokes and things like that about how, you know, well, about her tits and stuff like this, basically, which is, you know, good on her. And she said, I loved it. I actually had to push for a lot of it. Some people were a little nervous about it, but in real life, I'd like to say I'm a funny person. And sometimes I wish that I could address more with my Sid self. But I find that with social media, there's such a lapse in how things are communicated. It's hard to get things across in the way that you intend to. They can be misconstrued. So being able to do it on stage in very Sid fashion, I loved it. I felt like I was taking the power back. Good on her. Honestly, there's not a whole lot else, to be honest. You know, we could scroll through some of it, but it's not actually that interesting. You know, talks a little bit about what she could have told her younger self and things like this. But it's mainly that key point, you know, about basically the industry, Hollywood, just being completely fake. All of it's fake. All of it. Love it. They're not trying to empower women. We know that. We've said it for donkey's years. But still interesting that someone on the inside is coming out and saying it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop it down below. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Turn the bell notifications on. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.